simultaneous equations. So you can see three different equations, and many times while solving problems in mathematics or in case of fluid mechanics or thermodynamics, you might have came across such type of equations, or even in this particular semester or upcoming semester, definitely you will come across such type of equations, and these equations are called as simultaneous equations. When you look at these equations, you can say that x, y, and z, these are the three unknowns, and they will be there in all three equations. So three equations, three unknowns. So you can solve it and get the solution. And for x, y, and z, you can see the coefficient a1, b1, c1, similarly a2, b2, c2, and so on. So this is the typical format, or we can say a syntax for simultaneous equations. And first important requirement to get the solutions or calculating unknowns is, if there are three unknowns, then there should be three equations. If there are four unknowns, there should be at least four equations. So if there are n equations, then at least n unknowns, then there should be at least n equations. So this is the general thumb rule to solve such type of equations. Then these type of equations you need to solve in engineering and science, and there are so many problems. For example, analysis of electronic circuit consists of invariant element, analysis of a network under sinusoidal steady state conditions, determination of the output of a chemical plant, finding the cost of chemical reaction, and so many situations come in front of you, especially in upcoming semesters, where you need to solve this type of equations. Now, the solution of such equations can be obtained by using two methods. First, direct method, and second one is iterative method. So there are certain methods you might have studied related to direct method, and you can easily solve it. For example, convert these equations into matrix form, simplify that matrix, and you can find out the unknown value, that is x, y, and z. So there are several direct methods that can be used to solve the method, but there are certain situations where the number of unknowns are too many, x, y, z, then a, b, c. So if such type of situation is there in which there are so many unknowns and very complex type of equation is there, which are very difficult to solve directly, then in that case we can go for iterative method. Or you can think that write a general program in the Python, so that if any such type of simultaneous equations will be there, just enter the coefficient of x, y, z, or anything, that is coefficient of u, v, whatever, and just entering the coefficient and entering the value of number of unknowns, directly the program will execute and you will get the solution. So you can develop a program for solving simultaneous equations, so that in a very short time you will get the solution, and that particular program can be used at any time to solve any kind of simultaneous equation. So that is the philosophy behind using the iterative method and writing the program. Now, in this particular type of situation, that is solving the simultaneous equation, we are going to discuss three methods. In that, today we will discuss first method, that is Gauss elimination method with partial pivoting. So we will see how we can use this particular method to solve simultaneous equations. So what is generally done in this method? The unknowns are eliminated successively and the system is reduced to an upper triangular system from which the unknowns are found by back substitution. This method is quite general and is well adapted for computer operations as well. So many things I put in upcoming slides. So instead of reading all the material that I mentioned in that slide, so instead of that, I suggest you to focus on what I am saying so that you can easily understand it, and the slides will help you to understand if the recording is not available in YouTube. Suppose there are three equations, let's say equation number 1, equation number 2, and equation number 3. So we have three equations and three unknowns. Unknowns are x, y, and z. So three equations, three unknowns. So we can guess that we can solve this particular problem. And how to calculate the value of x, y, and z? So what you need to do, from equation number 2, you need to make this particular term, that is a2x as 0. Then from equation number 3, you need to make a3x and b3y equal to 0. So what will happen? The equations will be converted to upper triangular matrix. So you can see, So you can see that if this is the diagonal, then the terms below the diagonal are 0. So this is converted to upper triangular system. And when you look at this modified equations, then from modified equation number 3, you can calculate z if d3 and t3 are given to you. Then once you get the value of z, put this value of z in equation number 2, and you can calculate the value of y if b2, c2 and d2 are given to you, as we already calculated value of y. Then put z in equation number 1 as well as y in equation number 1. Then you can calculate x if a1, b1, c1 and d1 given to you. So this is the very simple understanding or simple process to solve such type of problem and get the solution. You might have already studied this particular method previously, but this is the just overview. But when you want to solve the problem by using a Python or any other tool, there are certain things you need to understand, and that we will highlight in upcoming 2-3 slides. So first, what we do in first step, we eliminate x from equation 2 and 3. So that we already discussed. But what we need to remember, when you want to remove x from equation 2 and 3, then we need to make sure that a1 is not equal to 0. Why this value should not be equal to 0? Because if you want to make a2x as 0 or a3x as 0, then we generally do matrix operation, that is with the help of equation 1 we try to make a2x as 0. Again, if we want to make a3x as 0, then again we use equation number 1 generally. So that's why if a1 is 0, then equation 2 and 3 will become 0. So that's why make sure that a1 is not equal to 0. But there are certain situations in which the a1 is 0 in equation number 1. So what you can do, check the coefficient of x in equation number 1, 2 and 3. If a1 is 0, then what you can do, interchange equations. So equation 2 will become equation number 1 and 1 will become 2. Or what else you can do? You can make equation number 3 as equation number 1 and equation number 1 as equation number 3. So that a1 will not be 0. So you need to make sure that. Then after making sure that a1 is not equal to 0, then what you can do, how will you replace this particular term as 0, or how you can make this particular term 0? Just multiply equation 1 by a2 divided by a1. So if you multiply this equation by a2 divided by a1, and if you subtract equation 2 by 1, then you can make this term as 0. So this is how you can make a2x 0 in equation number 2. Similarly, we can eliminate x from equation 3 by eliminating a3 by a1 times equation 1 from equation number 3. So this is how you can make a2x and a3x as 0 from equation 2 and 3 respectively. And therefore, equation 1 is called as pivotal equation and a1 is called first pivoting point or first pivot. Then after doing that, as we did operations on equation number 2 and 3, that's why equation 1 will not change. But for the sake of understand, we write this as equation number 4. And from equation number 2, a2x becomes 0. So remaining terms are b2 dash y plus c2 dash z equal to d2 dash. So this will be equation number 5. And why we wrote b2 dash, c2 dash and d2 dash? Because while doing the matrix operations, the value of b2, c2 and d2 will change, and that's why we put a dash to represent the new value. So this will be equation number 5. Similarly, equation number 3 will be changed to equation number 6, where a3x will be 0 and remaining terms are b3 dash y plus c3 dash z equal to d3 dash. So these are our new equations. Now next objective is to make y equal to 0 in equation number 6. So here what you need to make sure that first of all b2 dash equal to is not equal to 0. If b2 dash equal to 0, then what you can do? You can interchange these equations by shifting just rows. And then eliminate y from equation number 6 by subtracting b3 dash divided by b2 dash multiplied by times the equation 5 from equation 6. And once you do that, you will get equation number 7, which is same as equation number 4, equation number 8, which is same as equation number 5, but you can see a new equation 9, which is the modified version of equation number 6, where you will not see this particular term, that is b3 dash y, as we did matrix operation. Now when you look at equation number 7, 8 and 9, now you can see that from equation number 9 you can get the value of z. Put this value in equation number 8, you will get y. Again put y and z in equation number 7, you will get the value of x. And this process is called as back substitution. And this is a summary of that. By using equation 7, 8 and 9 and back substitution, you can calculate the value of x, y and z. That is the solution of the equation. Now we will see one example. Apply Gauss elimination method to solve equations. So 3 equations are given. So first of all, we check whether diagonal elements are 0 or not. Here you can see they are not 0, so we call this as equation number 1, this is equation number 2, and this is equation number 3. Then first step, eliminate x from equation number 2 and equation number 3. So we want to make this term as 0 and this also 0. So what we will do, we will operate equation 2 minus equation 1. So when you do that, what will happen? And how will you do that? Equation 2 as it is minus equation 1. So x becomes minus x, 4x becomes minus 4x, minus z becomes plus z, and minus 5 becomes plus 5. So x minus x, 0. So that's why you will not see a term of x here. Then y minus 4y, you will get minus 3y. And similarly, minus 6z plus z, you will see minus 5z. And minus 12 plus 5, answer is minus 7. So you can see a new equation which we got from equation number 2. Similarly, equation number 3 minus 3 times equation number 1. So equation 3 is there. So multiply equation 1 by minus 3. So x becomes minus 3x. This plus 4 will become minus 12y. And z will become plus 3z. And minus 5 will become plus 15. So this is how you can modify equation 1 and take the difference of 3 and 1, and you will get minus 13y plus 2z equal to 19. And let's say these are equation number 4 and equation number 5. Then what we will do, we will eliminate y from equation number 5. So how will you do that? Operate equation 5 minus 13 by 3 equation number 4. So when you multiply minus 13 and if you divide by 3, then this term will become plus 13y. So you can easily replace term minus 13y from equation number 5. And similarly, you will get modified value for 2z and 19. So we will get, after simplification, 71 upon 3z equal to 148 upon 3, and this will be equation number 6. So from equation number 6, you can easily guess that you will get value for z. Again, you can put this value of z either in equation number 5 or equation number 4 to calculate the value of y. Now we have y and z. So put value of y and z in equation number 1 equation number 2 or equation number 3 to get value of x. So this is how we can solve this equation. So I'm just for understanding purpose, I am putting equation number 1, equation number 4 and equation number 6. And from equation number 6, you will get value of z. Then put this value of z in equation number 4 and solve, you will get value of y. Again, put value of z and y in equation number 1 and simplify it, you will get value of x. So this is for understanding purpose. I am explaining this particular problem and you will get the value of x, y and z. So this is very simple procedure and you just need to do calculations properly in order to get correct solutions. Generally, students make mistakes, especially while doing the calculations, because steps are very easy and you can easily remember and perform. But if you do a mistake while doing calculations, there is chance that you may get wrong answer. But yeah, after getting the answer, there is a trick to verify the solution. What you can do, what you need to do, you simply put the answers in these equations, especially on the left side of these equations, and every time you should get the right side. For example, if you put the xyz on the left hand side of equation number 1, then you must get answer equal to -5 or very close to that. Similarly, when you put xyz on the left side of equation number 2, then you should get answer equal to -12. If you are getting right side when you put xyz on each equation, then your answers are correct. But if you are not getting the right side when you put xyz on the left side, then you can say that your answers are incorrect. So these are the way to cross verify whether you calculated answers correctly or not. So these are some of the tricks to verify your answer. Now, in this particular method, we did operations and simplify to get the solution. Now, there is another method, that is matrix form. We can use it to solve the same problem. So what we are going to solve the same problem by using matrix operation. So equation 1, equation 2 and equation 3 are given. So what you can do, you can rewrite the equation in matrix form. For example, first equation will be row number 1. So coefficient of x is 1. So you can see 1 here. Coefficient of y is +4. So 4. Coefficient of z is -1. So you can see here -1. And equal to -5. So you can see here -5. So row 1 represents equation number 1. Row 2 represents equation number 2. So 1, 1 minus 6 equal to -12. And row 3 in matrix will represent equation number 3. So this is how you can convert the equations into matrix form, because generally students are very comfortable with matrix operation and they can easily solve this particular problem. And again, the process is same. What you need to do, first of all, check whether diagonal elements are 0 or not. If one of the diagonal element is 0, you need to interchange the row if it is required. If diagonal elements are non-zero, then you need not to do any kind of row operation, especially A11 and B22. They should be non-zero. If they are non-zero, then you can directly proceed, or before that you need to do some matrix operation, that is interchanging the rows. Then in order to get the solution, you need to make A21, A31 and B32. These terms you need to make it zero by doing some row operations, because in this particular problem we cannot perform column operations, so we will perform only row operations in order to make these three terms equal to zero. So let's start. First of all, we will try to make these two terms, that is 1 and 3, equal to 0. So how will you do that? Perform R2 minus R1 to make A21 equal to 0, and perform R3 minus 3R1, where R2 means second row, R1 means first row, R3 means third row, and R1 means first row. Yeah. So perform R3 minus 3R1 to make the A31 equal to 0. So once you perform that, so 1 minus 1, you will get 0. 1 minus 4, you will get minus 3. Minus 6 plus 1, you will get minus 5. Minus 12 plus 5, you will get minus 7. So you perform R2 minus R1. Again, what you need to do, you need to perform R3 minus 3R1. So 3 minus 3, 0. Minus 1, minus 12. 4 into 3, 12, and minus 10. So minus 1, minus 12, you will get minus 13. Then minus 1 plus 3, you will get 2. And finally 4 plus 15, you will get 19. So this is how you perform row operations on row number 3, and you will get answer for that. Then finally, what you need to do, you need to make this minus 13 as a 0, and for that you need to use second row. But before that, you need to make sure that this term is not equal to 0. If this term is equal to 0, you need to interchange the second and third row. As in this particular problem, the B22, that is second element of row 2, is non-zero, so you can directly perform the operation. And for that, what you will do, you will do R3 minus 13 upon 3 R2. And after performing that operation, you will get new value for C33, which is equal to 148 upon 3. And from row number 3, you can solve and get the value of Z. Then you need to convert the second row in equation form. So minus 3y minus 5z equal to 7. And put the z in that equation. And upon simplifying, you will get value of y. Again, next what you can do, from row 1, you can write a equation, that is x plus 4y minus z equal to 5. And again put y and z in that equation, simplify, you will get x is equal to 1.6477. So this is how you can solve the same problem by using matrix operations. And in the examination, you are expected to solve the problem by matrix operations. So this is important suggestion from my side. So henceforth, whenever a question will be there related to Gauss elimination method, you need to use matrix form and solve the problem. So this is another problem. In this particular, you need to solve a set of equation by using Gauss elimination method. And you can see there are 4 equations and 4 unknowns, x, y, z, and u. 4 equations, 4 unknowns, so you can solve. Then convert this into matrix form. So this is, say, let's say this is matrix A that represents coefficients, or which is called as coefficient matrix. Then let's say this is matrix X, which represents unknown matrix, and the last matrix, that is B, the terms which are after equal to sign, this is the matrix B. So when you prepare a matrix, yes, first step is make sure that the diagonal elements are non-zero, especially A11, A21, and A32. Sorry, 33. So these terms, make sure that they are non-zero. Then you need to make these 3 terms as 0. So for that we will perform R2 minus 6 by 10 R1, R3 minus 3 upon 10 R1, and R4 minus 5 by 10 R1. So in order to make these values equal to 0. So we got the modified matrix. Again, we need to make these 2 terms equal to 0, but by doing row operations. But before that, make sure that this particular term, that is A22, is not equal to 0. As in this case, this term is not 0. So again, you can perform row operations, that is R3 minus 3.1 upon 3.8 into R2 minus, and R4 minus 5.5 upon 3.8 R2. So when you perform this particular row operations, you can make this term as 0. And when you perform this particular operation on row number 3, you can make this particular term as 0. Now next task is to make this particular term, that is minus 2.3421, as 0, and for that we need to make sure that the R33 is not equal to 0. Once all the conditions are true, perform row operations. So you can see R4 minus 2.3421, this is this term, divided by 2.4474, this is A33 into R3. Once you apply this particular operation, you can make A43 equal to 0. And now when you look at this particular new matrix, you can say that by using row 4, that is R4, you can calculate the value of U. Then put this value of U in second row. You can calculate the value of Z. Again put U and Z in row 2. You can calculate value Y. Again put Y, Z, and U in equation number 1, that is row 1. You will get value of X. So that we can see here. By using 4th row, you can calculate U, which is equal to 1. By using 3rd row, you can calculate value of z, which is equal to -7, and by using second row, you can calculate value of y, and by using first row, put value of y, z, and u, you will get value of x. So this is how we can solve this particular problem, and the answer is x equal to 5, y equal to 4, z equal to -7, and u equal to 1. And in order to cross verify this particular solution, put x, y, z randomly in equation number 2, 3, or 4 and check whether you are getting corresponding values on right side of each equation. If you are getting that value, your answer is correct. Otherwise, you made some mistake while doing calculations. So check the calculations and you will get the correct answer. So that's it for today's session. If you have any question related to this particular method, the session is open for discussion. Yes, please.